very appreciative to be here today.
Yeah. We are too.
There's a lot of people here that will resonate with my main question, but 3 years ago I found you in this emotional journey, and it's been an emotional journey, so I just wanted to say thank you. Very grateful for your teachings and everything that you do.
We're glad it's emotional, because emotion is your guidance. When you are calling it an emotional journey, it means you've got deliberate intention mixed in there. In other words, you're not just feeling, you're knowing what it means and doing something about it. Yeah.
I've had some major manifestations in the last 2 years since I started following you, and I have inside my head a ringing, buzzing. It's something, I know the answer I'll probably get, but I just want to clarify and just validate that this doesn't disconnect me from source in any way, this loud ringing, buzzing that's in my head. It's just as, I guess it's just as describable as somebody who has a back pain or a knee pain. I've heard you talk about medical conditions, and you can be in pain and on your way to health, or on your way to feeling better, or you can be miserable and in pain, and it's kind of that dimension with me.
You've set this up very well for us to respond to you in a way that will be logical to you and soothing to you too.
I just want to make sure I'm still hooked up to 5G and not an LT tower.
Well, the thing is, there are so many frequencies. And we're not just talking about the radio frequencies that you think of as physical frequencies. There's a lot of that going on, and your instruments get better and better at deciphering their signal. And so if the receivers were not sophisticated enough to decipher among the frequencies that are moving through your airways, it would be chaos all the time. You'd have static through all your broadcasts, no matter what kind of frequency it is. But because the receivers are sophisticated and calibrated, then it's a pretty smooth ride for everybody. It's just a matter of setting your tuner where you want it to be. We're talking about your dials and your tuners and your internets and your whatever it is, and things are going well for you. In like manner, there is all kinds of frequencies as a result of the thought, projection, or offering that is happening. But because you are a sophisticated tuner and receiver, you don't get a lot of static from all of that. The static that you get is the contradiction in your own energy field because of your own thinking this, thinking this, thinking this, thinking this. It's not as much about what's going on with everybody else as you might think. And so it is more manageable than most people realize. Not like if there were really a chaotic sound coming into the room. You have greater control over this than you know so far. So we really like what you said. You set this up really well for yourself, because we were going to jump in and do it right before you did it. And then you did it, so we're doing it after you did it.
I tell all my friends you're my favorite comedian also.
So when you equated it to emotion gone further, like that's what pain is, or discomfort in the physical body, that's just contradiction in your own energy field that you haven't managed to bring into alignment. And so both ends just get stronger and stronger. And when two opposing ends of the stick get stronger and stronger, it causes a more tug of war kind of feeling within you. So here's what we're eager for you to hear from us, and we know this will make so much sense to you. We know that you know this, so this is where we're going to start. We know that you know that when you find yourself in the middle of a disturbing self-conversation, thinking, might be something you're remembering or observing or imagining, but when you're in the middle of that, you know that if you let it go too far, that the momentum of it will take it to a place where it's harder and harder and harder for you to rein it back in. But you do know that you can rein it back in. You do know that you can change the thought subject, or take a nap, or fall asleep without really intending to, or visit with somebody else. You know that there are distractions that are available to you, There are ways for you to manage this emotional tug of war, and you do it. And since you know that there are ways for you to do that, then you must know that there are ways for you to manage or eliminate altogether anything that is less than satisfying in your experience. And we're talking about full-on pain. Now, let's talk about pain, and then we'll come back to the sounds that you're hearing. What we just said to you is, do any of you have a chronic pain that you're living with? Something that's just bugging you a lot of the time? Oh, there are medications that you can take, but there are reasons that you don't want to, and sometimes it's worse than others, and you don't want to talk to other people about it because they're tired of hearing you're complaining, but you really wish that their leg would hurt like yours does so that they'd leave you the hell alone. So focus just a little bit on that physical discomfort, and then focus back with us on the thought that if you can find a better feeling emotion, and you can, and you know you can, then you can find a better feeling, physical feeling in your body, because they are the same thing. You can focus pain away. Esther knows that because she slipped on the shiniest floor in Italy that exists on the planet. She was all ready to go, face on and everything, went back to the shower to get her hair clip, stepped in and then out into a puddle. Her feet went out from under her and she landed on her back on the toilet, knocked the wind out of her, and hurt her. 2 days before a cruise, 2 days before a lot of time on stage, 2 days before exploring Italy. And so she dragged herself into her bed and complained greatly with every step, but discovered over the next few days that when she got on the stage and allowed us to come forward, she didn't notice it. Her daughter says, "Mom, how am I supposed to explain to our friends that you can't come to dinner, but you can do a seminar?" And Esther said, "Make something up." I don't know how to explain it, except that when Abraham is flowing through me, they are so focused, and I've learned to allow that focus so powerfully that even though I want to die, I don't feel like that when Abraham is flowing through. Now, see, that's striking to Esther, and it's the same for all of you. Esther's not unique in that way. Alignment is different than not alignment. Your full connection to who you are is empowerment. We're not asking you to never look somewhere where something bothers you. In fact, we want you to explore contrast because that's how new beginnings happen. That's the basis for your state of becoming. Esther said to herself and to her daughter, "It's so difficult to explain because it's the same body. Look at me. We look the same." Jerry used to say, "You need a sign. Esther, Abraham. Esther, Abraham." And then after a while he said, "No need for the sign. It's pretty obvious to all of us." So it's really about allowing yourself to know that you've got the resources for whatever you want. And then just like you practice thoughts that feel better, just practice a further extension of that feels better. So the operative question here, the question that we really want to activate within all of you is, if I'm capable of changing my perspective in order to emotionally feel better, then am I not also capable of focusing physical discomfort into its opposite? Can there not in every moment be the presence or the absence of something? We're speaking from your perspective. And isn't my attention to it the reason for whichever it is? So rather than wondering what it is, just call it what it is. It's a confusion of vibration. A physician might put a name to it. They might call it tinnitus or something like that. They might call it ringing in the ears. They could call it all kinds of things because a lot of people have experienced it and have really wanted some explanation of what it is. But we're giving you the root explanation of what it is. It's like this. You know what you don't want, and therefore you know what you do want. But what you don't want might be more dominant right now. We're just making this up. We're not assigning this to you. Just a little bit. So then, you know what you do want, but what you do want, it's hard to get a hook in it because what you don't want is big right now, whatever it is. But then you do distract yourself from that. Esther had the greatest clarity, other than being on stage with us blowing through her. She moved from one place in Southern California to another. And during the 6-day transition, her internet, therefore televisions, did not work where she was leaving, and also then didn't work in where she was coming. So for nearly a week, she had no television. Well, you're not wrong. At first, Esther thought, I will die because I'm isolated and all alone. But then she began to notice that she just had profound clarity. She found herself thinking about what she was about. She found herself putting her new place together like the pieces of a puzzle. She touched everything that she owns in that location, and she knew where it was and found the perfect place for it and moved it from place to place and got it better and better and better and better and better with such clarity. She hadn't experienced such clarity in a long time. And she realized it's because I'm focused only on my stuff. I'm just focused upon what's my business. I'm not trying to integrate what everybody else's business is and then trying to do the impossible thing of soothing out their business, because I can't soothe out their business because it's not my business. I can only soothe out my business. And without the ability to be in all of their businesses, I then, because I don't want to be bored, I'm only in my business. And since I'm only in my business, I now know where every single thing is. Things I haven't seen in years. Things that were in cupboards way back under there. And all the time I thought, where is that? I wonder where that is. I believe that it's somewhere in this place, but it's really not worth looking for. And now I know where all of these pieces are. We're not making fun of Esther. We're acknowledging the clarity that she felt when she stopped putting her nose in things that are not her business. And you know how you're putting your nose in something that's not your business? You feel negative emotion.
I've learned to stop doing that.
So, since you've learned to do that, you can take it a step further. Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing.